Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We're excited today to be with an Ascension leader. Debra Giusti is with us, and she is a beautiful being on the planet, so well connected. Really, I'd love to say the heart of our spiritual community. She has been working with the spiritual community for decades now. She started with the Harmony Festival way back in 1978, and she has been on this path supporting all of us on our ascension journey. And today we are talking about the planetary ascension and how we can join in this opportunity. Debra has written a book, Ascension Tips, which we're going to be talking about. It's a real clear way to understand this incredible shift that is underway. Debra, thank you. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, so great to be here. I so love your programs and so great to share all that I have to offer with your audience.
We are excited to talk about this because we are feeling the shift. I would say that most people watching and listening to this really get what's going on. You've got an incredible way to explain it. And so when people, this could be lessons for us to go out and help others. We can help explain to others what's going on, what's underway, because sometimes we have loved ones that may not get it as well. And we just don't know where to begin. So tell us about how you've developed this beautiful book, Ascension Tips, 88 tips, and why it was important for you to bring forward this work.
Well, I think I've been on the ascension path my whole life. As a teenager, I really woke up to my mission and started it really early. Like you said, 1978 started the Harmony Festival, which was an expression of all the things that were waking up at that point with the hippie generation, with love, with good food, with spirituality, with creative consciousness, all of that. I felt very connected. So that was the beginning parts of it. And then I've stayed on the top of the new paradigm and what's coming through every single year. We did that with the Harmony Festival for 33 years, through 30,000 people, and then went online with everything. So I always sit at the cutting edge and kind of look at what's coming through, and I say, hey guys, this is what's up, take a look, and go through my own incredible process. So I myself have gone through major dark night of the soul that's kind of propelled me to another level of understanding and connection with source. And really in 2012 is when I really understood we are here for a planetary ascension. This is all coming forward. And so I started studying with all the ascension teachers and found that they were saying similar things, but they have such rich information. It was hard to understand a really clear pathway. And so I felt that as my purpose, to really make it simple, to share 4 stages of what we're going through so that people can understand, oh, that's why my life is falling apart now. I'm in the stage of transmutation. All that I had is not of the high vibration and level that I'm meant to go for. So this has to go away, or whatever the challenges or whatever the evolutions. Oh, that's why I'm starting to hear downloads and visions. I'm opening now to that level of what my stage is. And where are we headed? We're headed to become the divine human in the new earth. And so that's really where we're all going. So yes, it's 88 tips in 4 different sections, really simple because everyone's really busy. We don't have time to read so much, but it sparks your memory, it sparks your knowing, and it sparks your direction of where to go next for every person. And yes, it's something you can give to your neighbor when they're wondering about their awakening, because we are in a planetary ascension. And that means every life form on the planet is going through this evolution along with Mama Gaia. So your neighbor next door is also going through it in their way. And this might be the perfect guide to have them understand this level of understanding, this alchemical transmutation that we came to the planet to go through right now. So it's Ascension Tips, 4 different stages, and people can download it for free. So that's my offering now. It was during the pandemic, when we all went into a mandatory spiritual retreat, which sparked the planetary ascension worldwide. That was what were birthed through me, is the Ascension Tips. I know we all kind of got various instructions of what we were supposed to do, but the Ascension Tips were in my belly, and that's what came out, with the support of some of my top Ascension teachers, Meg Benedicte and Camille Moritz, because I always like to work in teams, because we all work in various ways. We all have gifts. So and I made it downloadable for free so that anyone can have it, and it supports what we're all going through now.
Great. And so we will, I'm going to put the link to your special offer. So when people click on the link to your special offer, they're going to go directly to your website and they can check out that offer, but they can also find that free book through the link that I'm going to put here in Zoom and on our YouTube channel. Wherever people are watching or listening, you'll see this link there. And I love it.
It's at ascensionnow.org, ascensionnow.org. And this is the book right here. And you can just go to ascensionnow.org and download it, and it'll come right to you. You can even use the QR code and scan it. But it's a PDF, 4 pages, really simple. So that's my gift to you.
That is so beautiful. Okay, let's leave this up so people can scan that. You can scan that QR code, and we are going to put a link to also a program that you are doing with Meg Benedicte, and I'm going to have that in our Zoom meeting for everyone as well. So, okay, here we are. I love the fact that here it is, 2020, you said that really was the year that sparked the planetary ascension. It actually was a good kick in the astral for many people, as we were given time to come into our own beingness, our own space, without that day-to-day routine that we were in. So that was the gift of that. And do you think that it was happening before then, or do you really think that year 2020 was a good amplification or acceleration of this entire ascension?
It's ongoing, and everyone's at their own stage. There's many people in your audience that are way ahead of everyone else because they listen to you and they know it. So this was another level of an ascension evolution that was happening. For some people in mainstream America, it was the first time they stopped and actually looked in the mirror and looked at their life and really reflected. So it's all levels. On the ascension path, everyone goes at their own journey. It's their higher self that kicks in and starts talking and leading a pathway to what their ascension is. So it's all levels and everyone is open. So for some people, it was like, oh, I know what this is about. And they were just fine with stopping and going with the flow and taking a break. For other people, it was like, oh my God, I'm going through this. What do I need to do? I need to look inside and figure out what my life's about and what my family's about and who I am. And that's all part of the ascension, the beginning parts of it. So it's all of that.
And so here we are a few years out of it. And how does it feel for you a few years out from it? It was pretty intense there in the beginning. And now, recently with, we've got things happening on the planet. There's fires everywhere. And that's another level of awakening for people, I believe.
Yeah.
What is your take on, it is ongoing. So
it's highly accelerated right now. And that's kind of the part of it. It's continuing to accelerate. And more people are waking up. The last 3 or 4 years, we're in the purification stage collectively. So some people have already gone through the purification stage and they're at a farther place with their ascension. Some people are just going through the purification stage with the planet, where everything that is not of the higher vibration that we were going to comes up to be revealed and healed. And that's necessary because you cannot sustain the higher vibration with the negative, patterns in the field that will continue to pull you down. So as above, so below. This is happening within people, but on our planet now. So in the last few years, everything that is dysfunctional in our society has come up in front of our face. Now, a lot of us have known about all this dysfunction in our politics, in our society, in the way we treat each other, the way we treat children, child trafficking, all of that, have known about it, but it's not been so prevalent in the mainstream now. So this is so we as a society, as a human collective, can identify, no, this is not what we want. We're going to make a different choice. And then the collective can make a choice. Just like, remember with the Me Too movement, it was obvious that women were being abused and treated badly for years, and people looked the other way. All of a sudden, there was a collective tipping point, and Me Too changed everything, right? And all of a sudden, in the collective, it was not cool to abuse women. So this is going to happen with all these other things that are coming up to the surface now. That's why truth is coming out so strongly right now. So this is part of the ascension and the purification process right now. And so it's happening in people's lives too. Anything that is not of the higher function that has been it is coming right up in your face to deal with. And it will continue to come up in your face until you do that core healing and that transmutation that allows you to not get pulled down into limited thinking, negative thoughts, core wounds, all of that. So once you heal that, which can be many ways, people can do that with nature, with shamanic work, working with an ascension guide. Sometimes people have near-death experiences and that's their complete transmutation. So it can be many different ways. But everyone's is, kind of required to stay on this path to go through the purification process now.
Wow, yes, it is a requirement. And so in your own life, as you mentioned a few dark nights of the soul and that transformation in yourself, what do you do when you go into those experiences? You've been through some of the deep stuff, and so you're at a new layer or a new level now than you were in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Do you still get triggered? I mean, what happens in that process when, we're aware, we're putting our consciousness on the transmutation, the transcendence of these feelings, belief systems, the rewiring of our whole template. Do you still get triggered, and what do you do to move past it? And does that get easier?
Well, I'm still in this human suit. If I didn't get triggered, I'd probably be light and be at another level. And the process is becoming self-aware, and that's in all spiritual practices and within this. At the beginning, the trigger happens and you believe that that's true. As you go through personal growth, spiritual evolution, the trigger happens and you go, oh, I'm getting triggered. I'm feeling like I'm less than because that happened to me. Right, that's not true, but that's happening to me. Oh, I still have that? I thought I let go of that. Okay, let me do some self-love and some inner work and some nurturing just to take care of myself and not let that negative perception do something negative in my life, go out to the world and start screaming at someone or whatever it is that comes from that. So yes, it gets easier in a sense, but no, life tends to hand you more and more missions, challenges, mountains, all of that on this human journey, because that's kind of why we're here. We're here to continue to evolve and be on this ride that we came here for. Because this is an amazing time to be on the planet. There's not too many times on the planet where so many cycles are ending, so many cycles are beginning, and this ascension process can happen in an embodied state. In the past, we had beloved Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, all our ascended masters popped open one by one. But now there's time, this is time for a planetary ascension. This is when the Earth is graduating to the next level. So that's why we came here. And if you got a ticket for incarnation at this time in the planet, you scored, because there's so many souls that wanted to get in at this time. And you can tell by so many people on the planet that this is the hot time to do it. So this is really a time of moving forward, which doesn't mean there can't be joy and bliss and manifestations and all of that, because that's all part of it as well. But as you continue, there are always challenges. It's just how you deal with them and how you embrace them and how you bless them and how you appreciate them. So.
Yes, I love that perspective. Thank you. You've said it. It's like, you know, each one of us, no matter the work that we do, no matter how long our journey has been, or even how brief, if we've just started out, you know, we still can wake up in the middle of the night and let worry take over. And so those tools that you mentioned, the self-love, is really powerful for that. You said something about, you know, there's 8 billion people on the planet here. So from all of the work that you've done with spiritual teachers, what is your take then on the beautiful souls on the planet? I mean, 8 billion seems like a lot, but everyone is here for a purpose. When you look forward to see that, do you see everyone here like suddenly waking up, or slowly and slowly, or what's that look like?
Everyone has their own choice. Some people may say, no, I'm not going this far. I'm going to recycle again and incarnate at another level and just take my time. And there's no rush, you know, and there's no right or wrong. Some are starseeds that came here specifically on mission. I know a lot of your audience is that, and they came here to help. So there's a lot of people here on mission to help everyone now. And I know a lot of them. I am one on a certain level. I'm very on mission. And others are just in their own pathway and their own way. So yes, we're all in an evolutionary path, and we all choose to embrace it at whatever level we do. But this is the time when you can really evolve in your body towards the divine human, which is activating your light body, your multidimensional realities, your connection with source on a major level more than ever before. In past incarnations, we used to have to be in a mystery school for 20 years before we got any kind of practices. Now you go on your phone, you can contact all the teachers that you want, and the information is right there. What you're doing with your program is amazing. It's like a mystery school that people can just tune into. So this is a huge opportunity. And again, this is like now. This wasn't available 10 years ago. This is like now. So.
I mean, wow. It's just so amazing, you know, for an example, like with the technology that supports us, that's almost 5D. I don't want to go into AI. I actually feel that we should come up with a new name for AI, call it conscious partnering with technology, because it's here and it's been here. That's a whole other subject. But what I noticed even with the television world back in the day, you were not allowed, you know, I come from the television world. We were not allowed to touch a TV camera if we were a reporter. There were unions and there were barriers that kept everyone in their compartments. But now, as you said, our cell phones, anybody can be a phenom on YouTube, and that is really powerful. That is like a flood of information. And so discernment is really important as well. And I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, because I want you to go over the 4 stages of ascension. But as we start, what about discernment? What is the best way for someone to, because of all the information that's out there, what's the best way to really have heightened discernment at this time, or even cultivate it?
Totally. So, because there's lots of information out there, and it's tuning into your heart and your passion and your higher self. Because as you begin your ascension journey, your higher self starts to be your tour guide and takes you on this amazing journey, and will open up doors of synchronicity, and will open up pathways and bring you to new groups of people that can help train you, and spiritual teachers. And it's finding those teachers or pathways that really resonate So there's this alignment that when you're on that path, you feel your vibration, it raises your vibration, it takes you up, and there's no little hiccups in all of it. So it's really tuning into what you experience and what you feel in your heart, your passion, and your energy field, as compared to someone that kind of goes, and it kind of, you have to take a step back. And everyone has their own teachers and their own way and their own pathway. So it's important to start discerning that and go on this magical mystery tour.
Go on that magical mystery tour indeed. And there's a surrender as well. And I think that's what's happening in the collective, is that we are surrendering to love, where most would just throw up their arms and say, okay, I'm just gonna be love. I'm just gonna follow that path. I think that's what's happening with the collective. As the pressure cookers out there and things get to be real intense, we're gonna care for the planet more. We're gonna care for each other more. It just is the human heart. And I believe that every human heart, 8 billion of them, have this spark inside of them. And as you said, if they don't, they'll just recycle. So it is an incredible time to be here. So let's talk about the Ascension tips, the 4 stages. These are a really good way for our audience to take notes on this and actually keep it in their minds when they're with their families, and we can begin to start teaching this. It really is a great teaching. So let's go over that. Thank you. Nice.
Yes, this is stage 1, the awakening. And I can say a lot of your audience has probably been through this, or they wouldn't be here right now listening. But the awakening is when you may just start to wake up and realize you're in the matrix that has a real kind of controlled reality over your life. And your thoughts are a controlled reality. And you are so much more than that. And you start to open up and start to understand multidimensional realities. Sometimes it can be really severe, like a near-death experience, which might just shock you into understanding the vast universe. You may be a nasty person going in and you come back from your near death and you've seen the light. So it can be all levels of it, or it can be a gradual awakening. And I'll explain all of these stages. I've put 22 tips that share a little bit about what you can experience here. And I'll share a few so that we can experience it. So the first stage is to fully embrace your awakening. When you feel yourself waking up, you're beginning your journey now. And again, your higher self is your tour guide. So really get the passion up for going on this tour. Start to be open and aware. A lot of synchronicities will come to you. Like now you'll walk down a poster board and all of a sudden this spiritual teacher shows up that you've never noticed before, but now you have a listening for it. And it's like happening tomorrow night and you're available and okay, I'm going to go. And that gives you a whole nother piece to what you're thinking about. And then a next one is to be complete transformation in your life. So when you're going to go on a journey, or go through a transformation, you've got to be ready for things to change. You can't go into it and say, oh, I give up. I'm going back. I'm scared. I don't want to change. But really be aware for a complete transformation in your life. Because anything can happen. You may be asked to move, you may be asked to change your relationships, but it's designed to up-level you to the next level. And also start to become aware that you are a multidimensional being. You are not just this human suit, which is kind of what we're trained as kids. You are so much greater on so much levels. And start to get an ongoing daily spiritual practice, which may be a daily meditation, because you want to start tuning into source on a daily basis, because that's your lifeline, that's your communication, that's your downloads of energies and frequencies that you'll start to get that will prepare you forward. A lot of times what I do is get up early in the morning, like at 4 a.m. and do my meditation, because that's when I'm closest to source. That's when I get my ideas, my downloads of what I've done in my sleep on my other journeys. So find a place, and it may just be walking in nature can be your connection with source. And to connect with Mother Nature is really an important process, because Gaia is going through this transformation, and all beings on the planet are going through this ascension transformation. And so it's important to connect with her and her energies on all levels, especially if you live in the more city, suburban areas, which is not as natural. Make sure you go out and connect with great nature on a regular basis. And what we're talking about is raising your vibration. So that's the bottom line, is identifying what you do in your life that brings your energy down, that brings in negative thoughts, that lowers your energy, and don't do that anymore. Look at what raises your energy. Does playing music raise your energy? Does dancing, does being with a certain group of people kind of raise you to this bliss, open energy? Because that's what we're going towards. It really is raising your frequency to the next levels. And be open to downloads and visions, because you're going to start to get messages. Your guides are going to start to connect with you. In your dreams, you're going to start to get messages. And these are your signposts, guideways, doorways to what you can do. Also, master your fears, practice non-attachment. Go ahead.
I get this a lot. Downloads. Can you explain how one would recognize what a download is? Is it just ideas and inspiration, or is it more than that?
And it comes in different ways to different people. Some people are visual and they'll get a picture. They'll get pictures that tell them something. And you want to start to develop that, and you want to start to utilize that and act on that. Maybe you get a picture of a friend of yours, all of a sudden in your mind. And it's like, well, maybe I'll act on that and I'll give her a call. And your friend is having a really hard time, and it was so beautiful that you called her at that moment. I myself don't get pictures. I get messages that just plop down. So I get kind of like prepared thought forms. I think that's because I'm kind of like the commander. I kind of run things. So I need kind of everything right there so I can act. And that's the way I do it, as I get an inspiration, or it's like I said, I'm pregnant in my belly with the Ascension tips. That was like a big download. So it's starting to understand yourself, your multidimensional self, at a whole other level, not just mind and ears. And it's like a whole inner being. You start to work with your energy bodies and all the ways you get information. And of course, recording your dreams when you get up, because the dreams can be, a huge teaching for you as well. And then a big part of this stage is self-love, like we talked about. Because what you're doing is you're becoming a vessel for the divine to flow through you. And if you're not loving this vessel, this being, the divine can't come in and flow through you. And that's the magic, is when you connect with source and allow it to flow through you. That's when the big juju starts coming through. But you've got to love and appreciate. And that's understanding all the negative thoughts and what causes you not to love, whatever your mom said to you that you've got to let go of, because all that's not true. And as you said, love is the bottom line of everything. Love is a frequency. Love is what we're getting to. So start to use love as your teacher and your healer. You have a disagreement with someone. Use love. Use love. What would love tell me with that? And how can love transform how I'm perceiving that disagreement with someone and give me new insights on how to transform that to the new level? So love in every stage is the bottom line of everything. And there's 15 other tips that you can, when you download the book at ascensionnow.org, you can look at it. And they're just, it's not like this is all new information for everyone, but remember, it's kind of for you to keep on target with this. So that's what's great about it.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, because it's almost in a nutshell. All right, so that is the awakening. Then let's talk about the next phase.
Yeah.
Transformation. I would think that for some of us, there's people who've awakened all their life. There's some that had different stages of awakening, and then there's these that are newly awakening and like not going to put up with it anymore. So then we move into transformation. transmutation.
Transmutation. And again, this is not a linear process. So even though it's in a linear book and we have stage 1, 2, 3, life is a hologram. Life is holistic. So all of this kind of comes in and out. And yes, some people have been going through the transmutation stage for a long time because the personal growth industry kind of, took hold in the 80s and 90s and all of that. So it is all part of that. And it's continual transmutation. But as I said before, this is the major stage that the planet's in and that we're in, which is transmutation. And we're talking about an alchemical transmutation. So it's not just psychological. It's not just how we act. It is alchemical energy body transmutation of how our energy and our energy bodies function within our body. So that's one of the main things, is start to see yourself as an energy body, because we know we have this physical human suit, but we have multiple layers of energy that work with it. So start to feel yourself and be conscious that you are an energy body, multiple energy bodies. And with many spiritual teaching, you can learn about all the different bodies that we have, but start to be aware of that and function from that and start to be conscious of that and learn to master your energy. Learn when you go somewhere and you feel like you've lost all your energy, or a psychic vampire has come and taken your energy, or how to protect your energy in these times. When you're in the cities and you have to go through some intense places, learn how to protect your energy and work with your energy. So that's really important. And start to raise your energy and your body. So one of the first things that people do is start to really take care of your body. Start to eat high vibe food, start to drink water, take some supplements, do some health analysis and see if there's anything going on in your body that you need to deal with. So taking care of your physical body, your psychology, as we talked about, and all levels, breathing. So this is the vessel that's going to hold this divine light being that's growing and that's evolving forward. So you want to up-level everything on that level. And then one of the main things of this stage is doing your shadow work, is really understanding the basis of your negative thinking. And we're talking about your core wounding. It's like wherever in your childhood, could have even been your past lives, wherever you've got triggers down there or attachments, entities, all that kind of work. You want to become self-aware of that so you can know that and grow beyond that, heal that, love that, and not let it have a hold on you. Because that's where we get pulled into negative thinking and lose opportunities, because an opportunity may be coming for you, but if you just got triggered, you'll shrink back and you won't go for that incredible gift that's come to you. And when you're on the ascension path, all kinds of gifts start coming to you. And that's part of it, is like receiving the gifts and moving forward to, achieve another higher level of experience. But if you're in negative thinking, you're going to shrink back and, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not loved enough, or I'm not all of that, which is not true. And so do some deep work. It can be shamanic work. It can be working with spiritual guides, or it can just be personal work, or you just ask your higher self, okay, I'm ready to do shadow work. What happens? Where do I go? And then an email comes in your inbox of an online program with a teacher that just feels right. And there you go. You spend a weekend really committing to understand those patterns that you need to untie, that you need to reprogram, is really important. And get to your core limited beliefs. That's a big one, because we in our society have been placed so much limitations on us. And we are an unlimited being. We can do anything we want if we have the concept and the ability and the manifestation. I mean, that's where we're going, is to be unlimited. To really heal your limited beliefs. And when you start to do that healing, then you start to open up psychically. Then you start to open up with all the different superpowers that start to come in, because you've untied those limitations, and start to work with developing your intuition. And the levels that we're going to use more and more intuition as our key method of understanding than just our voice and our hearing and all that. We're going to have a knowing that's going to grow and grow and grow. And so continue to develop the superpowers on that. Another thing that will happen in transmutation is you'll start to attract new soul family. So start to be aware of those people that resonate and give you a passion like you know them before, and they're aligned. So you'll start to collect new soul family. Some of them will come on Zoom like this when you go into groups or participation. Some of them, if you go to a spiritual retreat or a gathering that's high vibe, you may meet some people that you feel so aligned with, and take the opportunity to be bold and connect with those people and develop new friendships, because that can be really rich in having like-minded soul community around you as you go through this metamorphosis. It's really important. And then also be very connected with the major portals and solar activations, the eclipses, all these times on the planet where we get assistance from the universe and from the galactics to raise our frequencies and our energies. So those are the times where you can really tune in. All the eclipses, the portals, the Lion Gate that just happened. And in my mind, they get more and more powerful every year, because we are more and more receptive at the collective to be able to receive them. And then start tuning into your guides, whoever your guides are, and especially ascended masters that you feel connected with. When I was going through this stage, I went to Thailand. I was there for 15 days, and I thought, well, I'm going to bring in an ascended master that I feel really connected with every single day and just be with them in this presence of them. And I came up with about 12, 15 ascended master guides that I feel really connected with. And they have been part of my team for the last 10, 15 years. So every morning meditation, I bring them in, request that they be present in my life, request to assist, because you do need to request the guides and the assistance for them. And I feel like they're really present in me in all my manifestations and what I choose to work in the world. So I feel like I have an ascended master team that helped me create this book and everything else that I do. And love is still the bottom line. Love is the frequency. Love trumps everything. So realize that's the frequency we're going to exist in this new earth that we're going to as a divine human. So again, that's only about 10 of 22 tips. So you can find the rest of them of transmutation on there. And again, some of you have been through them. Others, forgiveness is another tip, is another key that we have to go through, because if you're not forgiving, that's another thing that pulls you down. So these are in the Ascension Guide that you can work with.
Yes, and I just want to share, I know there's so many in there, because you've hit all of it, and it's very well rounded. I love it. The key though, that and this is what we've learned about New Earth, is there's no room for judgment. And that's a personal thing. It's judgment of ourselves. I mean, it's one thing to see us judging, and as humans, I mean, we walk down the street and we judge people. Not anymore. I mean, I think we're getting to that point, but an unawakened or an unconscious soul just immediately goes into judgment of everything. And even being conscious or awakened or awakening, we can still judge ourselves and judge others. But this is a key. What do you do? Do you still find yourself coming into judgment, and do you catch yourself?
Yes, it's this self-aware thing. It's like being outside of yourself and watching your thoughts. And yes, I still judge people. We're so programmed in this society in so many ways. And I do need to work with it a lot, because it's a balance of discernment and judgment, because you do need to discern to make sure you're walking through the right path, but not to the level of judgment where you're just limiting all the different doorways that are open. In our society, we have so many, of people that are overweight, or people that look a certain way or talk a certain way. And I know spiritual masters come through everyone. And I remember seeing a homeless guy, and I kind of felt a little afraid, and I didn't go with them. I didn't offer him anything. And I just realized, well, what if that was Yeshua coming through that homeless guy, wanting to speak with me? And because I couldn't open up my heart, and I felt a little fear because he looked a little different, what was I missing there? So I try to remember just to keep my heart open with discernment, and not put this judgment, that we've been programmed to do. So definitely it is a spiritual practice.
Yes. All right. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've just witnessed other people. I'm in a place now, a different country, and people do not complain, or they definitely are not judging. There's no body shame here. And that is, you know what, to me, that is so beautiful.
Mhm.
Can you imagine a world where there's no body shame?
Yes.
I mean, in America, with all the magazines and the media and the
Mhm.
celebrities and the beauty of and the Barbies, that sort of thing. So just to witness that is really refreshing. And so that's where we're going. Okay. One thing that you said, and this could be embodiment, when you were talking about, connect with your higher self, connect with your guides, that's wonderful. That is another big question that we get. And so we could say higher self connection, but at a point, isn't it higher self embodiment? So what do you do to connect with your higher self, and how do you embody your higher self?
Yes, that is part of the next stage, soul embodiment, and that's the real key. In this planetary ascension and during this ascension time, we are not dying and going out of our body to another level. This is an embodied ascension. I've been hearing from so many different ascension teachers, we're going to live so much longer, back to like the hundreds of years that you found in the Bible, because we are going to embody this high level energy and activate our light body and our Merkaba to exist at a total another level in your body. So this is an embodied ascension. And again, it's everything that we talked about. It's doing the meditation where you actually download source and your connection with source every single day. So this is like brushing your teeth now. It's something you need to keep working at. How do you have this higher level of being and presence and knowing in your body and live from that, instead of going up to your mind and start being a human doing, which is how we were programmed in our wonderful America here. And it's also raising your energy and frequency so you can hold a whole nother level of vibration, which is eating right and dancing and movement and breathing and all that allows you to hold a whole new level of energy. And then just coming from your source and your thoughts and your words and your being, instead of the mind, which tends to kind of hijack a while. So it's learning to come from presence and source and being and love. And that puts you in that embodiment place. And there's much more, and it's all in the next, it's in the next stage of soul embodiment.
And so part of that stage here in your book is being receptive to Kundalini activations. We hear this a lot as well. Kundalini activations, can you explain a little bit about what that can feel like? Is that with another person? Is it something that can happen spontaneously within us? We feel a rise of energy. What is your experience with Kundalini rising or Kundalini activations?
Well, we are energy, and we have many levels of circuitry and energy in our body. And when we start to be open to it, then we start getting activated. And a part of that is the Kundalini energy rising in your body, which activates you to a whole nother level. And the body does activate on all kinds of energetic levels. So I myself, when I'm in my meditation, I actually receive these energies from the cosmos that I got during a contact I had once. And for me, that energizes my body and activates me. So the Kundalini is one part of the energy activation that you can have. And it can happen at any time, and you can raise it. And there's many other ways and many other ways. It's really activating your Merkaba and your light body that is opening up all your circuitry on many, many multidimensional levels for you to be awake and present in this current life form that we have now.
All right. I'm going to write down a question around that, but I wanted to go back to your contact experience. Tell
Mhm.
us about that. What was that?
It was in Sedona with a friend of mine, and she's highly perceptive. And we were doing a healing circle, and she says, I think we're going to be invited to have contact. Okay. And a light being came in the room. It was this blue being and
Wow.
invited us to go out in the desert in the evening for an experience. Okay. And the being said, we asked what the name was, and she said, Saint Germain, Archangel Michael is this being of the light. And she got, yes, it was. And we asked what it name one was, and they said, we don't really do names, but you can call us Harry Potter because it's going to be an experience. And that evening, we got in our cars and we drove with her direction, talking to this being out into the Sedona desert. We parked and we waited, and all of a sudden there was a light that came from the distance, and we're like, oh my God, it's really happening. And she goes, Harry, what's going on? What's going on? And he goes, it's just a car light. Let it go by. And then she goes, well, why are we waiting here? This is taking so long. And he goes, do you know how many UFO nuts come and wait? They don't complain. You sit here for 5 minutes, you start complaining. It was a comical experience. But what they did is they asked me to pour love out of my third eye and out of my heart. And they said they were going to calibrate with us. And so I did that. And then after about 5 or 10 minutes, there was this transmission of energy that was very perceptible that came into me. And it was like, oh my God, this is happening. I better surrender. And it was about 4 minutes of a transmission.
Wow.
Then I just received it. I came out of it. I looked at the other two women. We started cracking up because we were in the same experience. And then they told her, this is for you to receive energies, receive our gifts, and we'll be connecting with you later. And this is something whenever I'm in a sacred space, whether it's in my own meditation, I'm in a sacred place, like when I go to Egypt or other sacred areas, I can receive these energies, and it's like a transmission that fortifies my whole energy. And sometimes I work with other people with it. So that's just something I've had.
Thank you for sharing that story. It really is remarkable. And this could happen to any of us. Can we invoke?
Totally. Yeah.
We can go to sacred sites and be open to it. But there's something about being open, but not forcing.
Yes, it's a receiving, it's allowing, it's a receiving. And especially during the portals and eclipses and all that, this is what's happening. We're getting transmitted all this cosmic juju, also this cosmic energy. So I think it's all part of that, and it's all part of the ascension, because when I've received it before, I felt healings in my body, that have happened where I've been really depleted, and then it's come through. So, and we can all receive this, and we all have special gifts in receiving. Like I said, a lot of people receive whole visions and predictions and prophecies, and that's their superpower, and that's what they share. I work a lot on an energetic way, and I believe I'm meant to continue to develop this and share this. So,
Really beautiful. It really is how we are building new earth. And so let's talk about the next phase.
Yes, soul embodiment.
Mm.
I'll just share this one more time so we can just drop into this. So this is the exciting place, which I'm assuming a lot of your listeners are in this stage. A lot of them have gone through this. And again, you're not just, you end stage 1 and begin stage 2. It's very holistic and hologram, but basically you start to live in the now. So you start to get out of always being what you're going to do and having your mind, your presence, all your energy there. And you start to live in the presence, because that's where you can access your power and access everything. And the whole society learned that with Eckhart Tolle, living in the now. And what you'll start to experience is your body starts to regenerate. Once you start doing all these other practices and transmutation, you start to actually get younger, because all your cells start to regenerate and start to live. You start to get healthier. So embrace that and know that that's going to happen. And you will start living from the portal of your heart, because your heart is the doorway into the fifth dimensional reality. So be really conscious that your heart, which is as strong an organ as your brain, is where you can start making decisions from, getting messages from, and start seeing from. And what we're really doing is we're starting to learn how to live in the fifth dimensional reality or other multidimensional realities. And I know your listeners are very familiar with this. We're talking about unity consciousness. We're talking about this whole other level of being. And so you start to live there more than not. You start to make your decisions, have your experience from that consciousness. And then your superpowers are going to come on big time. And we're talking about telepathy, maybe even telekinesis, teleporting, all these superpowers that we see in Marvel Comics are actually what we're going to be developing in our next levels of beings. So really embrace that and take them on and start to work with that. Also, your powers of manifestation are start to get stronger and stronger. And in these phases of our world, we've all learned how to manifest, by focusing our attention. Well, this is going to be more and more true, where you set into motion what needs to happen. It is so, and then it shows up as a doorway in your life. So that's going to become more and more present. And what we're talking about is activating your DNA to the next level. And I know you've talked about this on your shows a lot. There is, our society says we have junk DNA. Well, we know that's non-activated DNA. And in the ascension process, we're going to activate more and more DNA, which is opening up these superpowers to the next level. So that's what we're going to do. And all these practices and spiritual practices can open up your DNA, which is activating your light body in your Merkaba Taurus, which is really your true body. And you start to live in the light body in your Merkaba Taurus, more consciously than just being a human suit. And so it's starting to work with that. And of course, that's a whole practice. And there's many ascension teachers that teach that. And then your mission really comes online. Because we're not just doing this so we can have a groovy life, we can have all that we want for ourselves and be the best we can be. I mean, that's one stage of it, but we are coming on to be of service to humanity. So your mission will really drop in. And I can say I live my mission, and that is the most exciting, creative pleasure that can be. It's like raising a child, that deep fulfillment, is having a child, having a mission that's like your child, that you grow and you nurture, that people also support, that grows. And it can be anything from raising a child can be your mission, to creating a community center for children, to going into politics, to having a business, whatever is your passion, and you would do it no matter if you got paid or not. That's what you'll start tuning into and start living that and creating that. And then, more comes into that. Again, there's 22 tips there, but you are becoming the divine human, preparing and creating and building the new earth together. So that's, again, a little taste of the embodiment, and there's much more in the ascension tips to share.
Yes. And again, we invite everyone to download that free book and read it and share it with the planet. It is an incredible gift. ascensionnow.org is where you can go to get that book. I would say that one of the biggest questions that we have here is, what's my purpose? Mm-hmm. What's my purpose? First, who am I? Why am I here? And what's my purpose? It gets to a stage where what's my purpose? But what you're saying is that purpose will be revealed on the journey of self-love, of awakening, of bringing our skills and talents online, of rooting out the negative thoughts. This whole journey leads us to our purpose. And that comes so naturally, doesn't it?
And tuning into your passion.
Passion.
What is your passion? What excites you? What brings you joy? What is like something, it's like, the mothering feeling. You got to birth something. So tuning into your passion and follow the doorways that open up to your passion. Maybe you just love to cook and you'd love to serve and cook, and there's a community that cooks for the homeless or people that are ill. So go volunteer there. And then maybe all of a sudden you're offered this job to create these amazing meals for people, healthy and nutritious, that can serve these people that are ill. And you've been studying this your whole life, but following your passion led you to that. And now you're on mission. Every day you wake up and you create amazing, nutritious superfood meals that serve so many people. So it can be anything, because it's all hands on deck right now. If you haven't noticed, the world is in quite a pickle going through its purification process. So it's all of us getting on mission and doing what we came here to do. And it's following your passions and your gift, starting by giving it away, just starting by, being the gift forward. And then things start to come in, and then you get supported and all of that. So.
Oh, I love that. It really is inspirational, because we call it one foot in front of the other, just doing what we get lost in time doing. There's no time when we do what we love. And again, as you said, it could be anything. If we love butterflies, we can change the world by loving butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
I know that could be far out there for some people, but we literally can.
The butterflies need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Totally.
So if you love surfing, we can go and be provided for doing surfing. That's a different discussion, but what I love is that it is how we become the divine human. It is how we build new earth. So as we see the old structures crumbling, collapsing, burning down, there's new birth coming out of it. And that is a beautiful opportunity, isn't it? It's a beautiful opportunity to step up, to speak our voice. One thing I wanted to say is this past summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere in June felt like we were moved through that portal. We were moved into an elevated self-love aspect, where I've noticed if we're unconscious, only a little part of the day, and we happen to offend someone, then the person who was seemingly offended is speaking up a little bit. So I've noticed people speaking up when they feel that their toes have been stepped on, where in the past that was such a common thing to just like cower down and say, no, it doesn't matter. But that is a level of awakening that I'm seeing out there. Are you seeing something similar? Have you noticed?
Totally. Authentic, honest communication is the only way to go for everyone on the ascension path everywhere. Because that's the only way true relationship and true collaboration and co-creation can happen. So yes, really great people are speaking up. And I don't know that I've noticed it, because in my world, people have already learned to speak up. But it's great to hear that, because if you don't speak for what you need and you won't get it. So, and it's not being angry or blame or judgment or any of that. It's really tuning into what's authentically true for you, so that can be revealed and happen in your world.
Beautiful. Yes. All right. And so then the divine human that we're coming into, the next phase, the next stage.
Yes. The divine human in the new earth. And I'll share this beautiful graphic, because a lot of times art can share so much more than the words, because it just goes right deeply into your heart. And so what we're talking about is the next stage of human evolution. And we've all heard about it, from calling it the golden age, calling it the second coming of Christ, the warriors of the rainbow, from the indigenous people, the Satya Yuga, the age of Aquarius. And we've had glimpses of this type of living in Lemuria and Atlantis. We kind of, as an Earth, have descended back into a darker age. But now what we're doing is raising our whole, graduating to a new level of being as a humanity, and therefore creating a new Earth. And so what does this mean? What is this new Earth going to be like? So again, I got my own downloads on it, just from everything I know and everything I studied, and got confirmation from some top ascension teachers that I work with. and saying, oh, yes, this is what we're moving towards. And so again, I'll say a few points that you can relate to that what this new earth. And we know it because we're trying to create it now, and it's a yes when we hear it. So first of all, we're going to be living in the awakened state. All of humanity is going to be in the awakened state, the Christ consciousness, the frequency and love, knowing that we are all one in unity consciousness. So how would that be different if everyone lived and operated and related in that higher state of consciousness? Wouldn't that be amazing?
I can't wait for that to happen.
Yes.
I mean, it's already happening, but yeah.
And it will be a much less dense form and a much higher vibration. And one thing that's really interesting that I thought I'll mention is we are not going to have amnesia. We are going to have access to all our memories of past lives, future lives, alternative lives. Now, I think we have amnesia now because we're not developed enough to be able to utilize that information in a positive, conscious way. It would probably blow us away. But in the awakened state, we're going to have much more knowing of who we are, where we came from, where we're going, and access to all our superpowers of all our self-life, all our past lives, instead of having to kind of discover it in this life as we're doing, as we evolve, we discover more and more of who we are, where we came from, and all of that. Also, we're going to be able to instantly manifest. So again, not very safe for people to instantly manifest at this stage of consciousness on the earth now. But when you're operating from a higher level, you'll be able to instantly manifest. And that tends to be, as we kind of tune into our ascended masters, that's something that can happen on these other levels. And you need a lot of conscious power and how to utilize power to be able to work with that. We're going to communicate telepathically. So we're not going to always have to just flap our lips. We're going to be in a lot of level of knowing. And we're going to work with time in a whole nother way, which we have kind of knowing and glimpses and information. So we're going to realize that time is not linear, and we're going to be able to experience time existing simultaneously and understand what that means and work with that on that levels. We're not going to have banks and money like we do now, and especially where only certain people are at the top of the pyramid and have access to all the financial power. The financial reality is going to come from what we give into the universe and what we receive. And a lot of our basic needs are going to be taken care of. Free energy that's been stopped from coming out on our planet will come out. So that will allow much more to be spread and embraced and happen and build a life where, you know, the basics are going to be taken care of. And then we're in a much more creative phase. We can create from that. And through that, it's going to be like a renaissance where the arts and the creativity and what we can manifest together is going to be the focus of our life, instead of like making money for our survival and trying to create a lot of money in the bank and all this other stuff that we do in this lifetime. It's, you know, the values and the quality of why we live and how we live is going to be at a whole nother level and plane. And one of the big things is we're finally going to gain full awareness that we are just one of many civilizations in the vast universe that will be actually invited to take a seat at the councils and be a part of the management and the decision making of this sector of the universe, which we are starting to get now. But we have to awaken to a point where we, you know, don't blow people up like we're still doing right now in this, you know. But all that again is coming to the surface where people can say, hey, this is not how we want to work. And there'll be a critical tipping point where things can shift around that.
We're close to that, I think. I think we're close to it. I think we're close. Who knows, but we're closer than we think.
And love, compassion, peace, and harmony reign supreme as values for everything. So again, this is just about half of what I've shared as part of the New Earth. And I'm actually going to continue to download the Ascension tips and share much more on the New Earth in our next cycle. Now, this was all downloaded during our COVID adventure, because that's what we're meant to know now. And there's, as we've seen, and I know you've seen being on this forever, more and more gets revealed as things happen, which is, when we're supposed to know it and embrace it. So I will be revealing a part 2 of New Earth, so we can understand where we're headed and where we're going, and start, embracing that and working on that.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations on this, and what a beautiful program, book, information that you've birthed through this. It really is comforting to know that it's as simple as returning to love and being aware of the changes. So I love it. And to think about everyone living on the planet this way. I mean, I've actually seen, I've had a vision. It was hilarious. I've had a vision of everyone living authentically, doing what they want with no judgment. And it was wild and fun, and it was happy. And so, I just watched the movie Hair, 60s, 70s. And that was kind of what that beginning movement was. And that, not for people to be scared of hippies, but there's a freedom there. There's a liberation there, that once and for all, we will break through. And it happens one heart at a time as we all remember love, 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 love. All right.
And I want to honor the children that are coming in now, because they are going to be the leaders. And if you've noticed, they come in more and more conscious. And there's a lot of new leaders that are coming into power now, that in their 20s and 30s and 40s, that have clear visions of what to create. And they're on purpose and they're on task of building the communities that operate with these principles, which is the seedlings of the new earth that's arising now. So I want to honor all the children that are coming in now, and all the new leaders that are coming in to really birth all that we're talking about.
And the greatest thing we can do is support them. So as we come across those beautiful souls, we support them and give them what they need, the children and all of it. Wonderful. Wow. Okay. So here is a great chance for us to explain a workshop that you're doing with Meg Benedicte, another beautiful Ascension teacher. And this is a workshop. Again, I put the link in our Zoom chat box, and I want you to explain this, because this is a way for people to really anchor into these principles. Tell us more about this.
Yes, Meg Benedicte. I met her in 2012 when I really got that the Ascension is what we were doing and what's happening here. And she's one of the top Ascension teachers that has been doing this for a long time. She's actually a walk-in and has very high connection with Source, working with Metatron. And so she was one of my editors and helped me with this. And she has such vast information. So we created a program that's about the Ascension tips. It's called Ascension Revealed. And we go over every tip and make comments, and you'll be able to hear Meg's comments from her incredible, vast experience of Ascension. And the first session is free, so you can go ahead and sign up for the first session. And then there's 2 more sessions that you can pay for, and it goes into depth of the Ascension tips, just 2 hours each. So it's 3 2-hour sessions that will really allow to go into every single tip and get much more information on them. So it's what we created to help you just continue and expand with these teachings.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. It is quite a gift as we share this information and we learn to bring it into our lives on a daily basis. Again, I thank you so much for this, Deb. And I wanted to put it out to our Zoom audience. If anyone has a question on this, please raise your hand or put it in our chat box, because we would like to answer any questions that you've got. Or maybe there's no questions because it just has been put in a way that we can really understand it. And so this is comforting, Debra, because again, it's more of an allowance in our awakening process. It's more of a immaculate awareness of when we are taken off our center, right? And then from there, it's simply returning back to love. Maybe you want to share with us a way that we can further activate our light body? Do you have a particular process for the light body or to become aware of your energy bodies? Real quick, that you could share with us?
Yes, and that's kind of what I've been implying this whole time, is really raising your vibration and activating your energy system and tuning in and being aware, because things will start to open up and things will start to expand, and your guides and your teachers will become your teachers as well. And so it's a matter of really building the strength and the energy of your light body and the expansion of it, and be able to be conscious of it and use it. Because this is when we sleep and we go into other realms, or when you go into meditation, you go into other realms. That's really what you're operating from, is your light body. So start to be more conscious of it and consciously use it. Know it's there and activate it. And again, take care of yourself and you nurture yourself and heal yourself. And that will help strengthen your energy body and your light body, and receive the energies from the universe that is coming to help build and activate your DNA. So it's an evolving process, just like all of Earth is. So continue to open up and continue to share. And if you want a teacher that can work with you, ask your higher self to bring you a teacher and watch who shows up for you. And then you can go into a real deep personal training about all that. There's many teachers out there, and there's teachers especially for you that are meant for you, that are already there waiting for you. So, and many on your show as well.
The true definition of resonance, where the teacher shows up when we're ready and the perfect person shows up when we're ready. The synchronicity of that teacher shows up. It's literally our guides, our higher self, putting that teacher on our path.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fun way to be. And again, it's so comforting to know that we all raised our hands to be here. So no matter how dark the night of the soul may be, know that it's temporal and that we will get through it, because what is on the flip side is so beautiful and magical. And we're beginning to see more and more people with this. And you know that, like we mentioned, the children coming in, they don't even have to transmute, do they? They're already wired for it. And so they're going to really provide us with that richness. And so listen to the words. It could even be a 20-year-old, even 30-year-olds, the millennials as well. That just brings so much hope. Again, as we still, for the time being, have politics, they could be the ones that move us through politics into no longer needing politics.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Here is Randy. Okay, Randy. All right. Randy's got he's like, we all know Roy G. Biv, Colors of the Rainbow, are, you know, and where are silver and gold? Do you want to answer that? Where are silver and gold? They're outside the rainbow.
Yeah, I know they're high vibe, you know, metals and energies. And so I can't really answer in relationship to what you're asking, but I know they are part of the new earth, and they are a high vibe that we're meant to take with us and utilize.
And do you know anything about biophotons?
I know at this point in time, there's lots of new technology and new energies that are coming to us. I don't know exactly about biophotons, but I myself have the healing center for scalar wave technology. And this has come in recently. It's the EE system developed by Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. I felt called a year ago that this is something that's going to help heal our bodies so that we can go on the ascension path. So I created a healing center where I am in Sebastopol, California, called Energy Wave Center. And I've had about 800 people go through with amazing results. Wow. In terms of what Sandra says, it goes into the DNA and corrects the dysfunction so the body can self-heal. This was Nikola Tesla's technology that was suppressed. She found it, perfected it, worked with it for 20 years with people in private homes, found all these incredible miracles that were happening with people. And then she got on Jason Shirka's show And all of a sudden it went poof. And the next day she had 72,000 email inquiries. That's
Wow.
where I heard about it because of this program. And I went and met with her in Las Vegas, and she's amazing. The technology is amazing. And I felt like I needed to bring it back to where I live in Northern California, because I'd had 4 of community leaders die from cancer. And there is so much pollution, stress, toxicity in our world now that these technologies are going to be come in to assist us to kind of fast track our healing so we can get back on track with all that we talked about. And so this is eesystems.com. I'm at energywavecenter.com. And so, and all kinds of new technologies are going to come in to help us. So just be open to that as well, because they're coming in now. They're not going to be stopped anymore. Sandra was stopped for many, many years by the powers that were. She's not stopped anymore. She got through. There's 300 centers in around the world now.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Yes. More technologies will be coming through. It's wonderful that it can't be stopped anymore. It literally cannot be stopped. Like television cameras can no longer be controlled. This technology will no longer be stopped. So again, it's really beautiful, and it gives us so much hope and inspiration for our future. Yes. So this is an inspiring episode with you, Debra. You are an Ascension leader and a huge hub, the heart of our spiritual community, I would really say. Yes, yes. Thank you for the incredible work that you do on the planet and all the lives that you are changing. It really is very remarkable and so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
As we say goodbye, I just want to give you a moment to recap something for words of inspiration for our journey.
Yeah, just know that every single life form is on the ascension path right now. This is a really magical, special time. It's not always easy, and sometimes we get lost, but we are all there together, and being together and supporting each other and finding our soul family and co-creating together. That's a big thing as a new earth, is us all working together and co-creating, giving our gifts and allowing that to mega manifest to the next level as we create the new earth. So in spite of what the world looks like right now, I'm excited and I'm really appreciative, and I'm in my passion, and that's what's going to lead me. And I will continue to share with everyone what I see and what I know, so we can all, rise together in this incredible ascension journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we are inspired and motivated with love. We are motivated with love. Thank you, Debra.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching. Again, please join the Ascension Workshop with Debra and Meg. We look forward to watching your growth on the planet. And as you shift our planet. Thank you, Debra. And thank you, everyone. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.